In a world in crisis, can three idiots find hope in the darkest of places? Will love conquer all, or will hate win out in the end? This is a show called Hate.
Hello and welcome to a show called Hate, a podcast in which we explore love, hate, and everything in between in search of greater meaning and perhaps a little perspective. I'm John.
I'm Nick.
I'm Chris.
And today, as ever, we're each proposing a subject of love and hate for discussion, so that we might exercise our demons and become well-rounded, productive members of society.
Ha!
One thing I already hate.
That was the first mess up of the entire thing.
One thing I
Less
already
than a minute
hate
in.
is failing to read my own script. And as we introduce this format and we all get used to it, we'd like to say be sure to join in on Twitter by using the hashtags #ShowCalledHate and #ShowCalledLove to send us your hates and loves for consideration. Whether big or small, send us your gripes, joys and fury, no matter how ridiculous, so that we can pass judgment and decide whether they're truly worthy of love or hate.
Because at the end of the day, it's up to us.
Yeah, pretty much to pass judgment on most of these things, I'd say,
Yeah.
if not all of them.
What do you think gives us the right, the authority?
Somebody put a microphone in front of me as I
Yeah.
walked into the house, so
And-
I'm quite happy just to go with it.
We weren't even prepared for this. It was just like John said, sit down, and we did. So
It's really
Yeah.
just a kind of like a merry-go-round of horrors.
Yeah.
Working with me, I imagine.
It's nice. It's nice to actually say them out loud. Normally they're quite internalized.
Yeah.
with me.
Do you find yourself quite a hate-filled person?
Yes.
Okay, because we had to do a bit of homework before we kind of began.
Is this a therapy session?
Do you know what? I feel it might be.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
Because the remit was we've had a week to think about it, come up with one thing you love, one thing you hate.
Yeah.
Hate was easy.
Hate was easy.
Hate was
I
really
got hate
easy.
in about 10 seconds.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, and my hate has changed
I had a list
so
of
much.
hates.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I had to whittle it down.
I'm trying to save it because I know, like, I know I will be hating.
I'll have some new ones.
I'll be
next week.
hating
Yeah,
again
yeah.
when we next do it. So I'm just trying to. Should we just dive in?
Yeah,
exercise
let's
some
do
of
it.
these hate.
Let's do
John,
it.
you take us.
I'm ready.
Away.
Take us home. Okay. Well, I would like to discuss what I'm hating, particularly this week, and that is bathroom etiquette at the workplace.
Oh.
And there's a reason I bring this one up. Is that there's a particular story.
Okay. Yeah.
So I work in a kind of office block, several stories. It's not massively high, but it's like 4 or 5 stories. And the way it works is there's a central staircase as you come in. You make your way up to the various landing for every office, and big open space, couple of elevators, door to the office, which is like a security door, so you need to like scan a card to get in.
Beep boop.
Exactly. Thank you.
That's right.
And he's here
Very
today.
good.
The door.
My good friend Door.
Special guest star of the last episode.
And there is a side door, which is a gent's toilet.
Right.
But it happens to be a little toilet in there. So you go in, and immediately you're greeted with a kind of like dead space room. Like there's nothing in that room.
Is it like the fart airlock?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Just to keep contamination to a minimum.
It's important.
And then you go through that, and you're in the bathroom, the toilet proper.
Yeah.
There is a single urinal
Wow.
Okay.
and one cubicle
Okay.
and a sink.
You got an option.
You got options, yeah. But what I'm saying is, it's not the biggest of bathrooms.
No.
Toilets is
I
what I'm saying.
understand.
Like, if you went down to the ground floor, there's like, you've got showers,
Whoa.
you've got several cubicles. It's meant-
Too much, if anything. That
yeah,
sounds
more
like to
urinals
me.
than you could shake a stick at.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
rhymes with.
I'm glad you said
And-
stick.
That's the joke.
Oh yes, I understand.
Oh, we're off to a strong start.
And okay, so I get to work, and I had a nice relaxing walk in. Things are moving. The old body's waking up,
The old internal system.
shall we
I
say?
understand.
Cogs are whirring.
And I think, I'll go make a deposit,
Yeah.
shall we say? So I go into the cubicle and sitting down, having a great time.
Yeah.
It's just
Woo!
everything's happening.
I can picture it.
And but of course, bear in mind it's a small men's restroom.
I've got a good idea with the grainy footage.
Okay.
things like
The
that.
flashing light.
Yeah.
And then immediately I hear the sound of a door opening, and immediately like you're kind of like your little oasis of early morning calm is shattered, and you're like, oh no, what's happening?
Yeah.
You know, he's going to come in, and it's one or two things:
Yeah.
use of a urinal, leaves,
Bullet dodged.
you know, you've
Yeah,
got your peace and quiet
that's
again,
the dream.
or you know, there's an awkward moment, and he goes, oh, and he leaves because there are other toilets in the building.
Or worse, he like grabs hold of the door and like shakes it, trying to get in.
A fist comes through the cubicle door.
So I hear,
Why? Why?
I hear this guy come in, and accompanied with like a lot of like rummaging, kind of like I feel like he's carrying something. I can't see him, but I can hear this kind of like thud, scrape. I'm like, what's going on? And then there's a kind of like a pause, and all that's separating me and him is like, you know, this thin cubicle
Bit of
wall.
ply.
But like, you know what he's thinking. Like he's
Yeah.
not. He's like, you know, I'm
I
where
know what
he-
I'm thinking.
I'm where he wants to be. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a kind of like a.
It's like a Game of Thrones, isn't it? Like, yeah.
The iron.
He wants the iron toilet.
Then you hear like a.
Porcelain throne.
It's very good. It's just
I hoped you'd like it.
tons of toilet brushes sticking out the back.
Melted
But
together.
then I hear a door shuts. He leaves,
Right.
and
Well,
I'm
at
like,
least you hope he did.
yeah, and I'm like, oh great, you know, happy days. So you know, I'm not, you know, I'm a little way left to go, a few miles left
At
to
this point,
travel.
you're just turtle heading. So.
Yeah, and then the door opens again.
How long has passed?
5 seconds.
Jeez, okay.
Like he clearly had a change of heart.
What? So he's done his business.
Well, no, he hasn't. That's the point.
Oh, he
there was
needs.
a big
Oh, I
sign.
see.
He
Okay.
Yeah,
had to
he
go
needs
to-
a
Oh,
cubicle.
I thought he'd done something in the urinal.
But he hasn't gone looking for other fertile
He's come back in.
ground.
He
come back
obviously
in,
can't make it.
And again, there's this kind of like scraping and kind of like dragging. I'm
a
like,
body?
what's going on? Like, what's he got?
What's he
And
got there?
and then I'm like, so you hear the door open, shut again. Hear this kind of like readjustment of bags, and I hear
Oh damn.
like these kind of like noises, and I'm like, okay, this is awkward because you know he's waiting.
Yeah.
Like, but he's not doing the decent thing of waiting just outside. He's waiting like for all I know, his face is on the other side of a cubicle, and I'm like, okay, well I feel a bit unwelcome now, so I'm gonna.
Yeah.
You know, I finish up a little ahead of schedule,
I
shall we say?
I don't want to put you down, John.
Oh,
But you and I know each other quite well. I would say, in the respect that if you were in a toilet and I needed to go, I would wait. I would say,
Yeah.
that's fine. But I wouldn't like to get that close to you.
no.
Oh,
Well, no, I
Certainly knowing you as a friend, even. But
Yeah.
for a stranger to do that.
No,
if
it
you
was-
don't mind me saying, does seem particularly odd.
But maybe his need was great. You know what I mean?
in our
My,
ways.
my need is constantly great, and yet
I am always.
I never find myself.
I am always on the
I
brink.
never
You have
find
no
myself half an inch away from your face while you're doing your business.
But that's my thing. So I just could bring this sorry affair because my little bubble has been thoroughly, you know,
Yeah, there's no
ruined,
calm to be had now.
ruined my day.
Yeah.
You know, so I get up and you know do the peripherals, and then I go to leave. Open the cubicle, and there he is, and he's like he's wearing businessman on the go attire, so he's got a whole suit, and he has like a kind of travel suitcase with him
Right, that's
on
just got a
wheels
body in it, probably.
with
Yeah.
a little kind of satchel on top, and he looks distressed,
ready to burst.
shall we say? He's
dear.
about to become impaled on a clay tree, as we
Yeah.
often say, and
Deliver a teddy bear's arm.
and I you know just wash my hands and try to get out of his way because again there's not a lot of space. And
Is he like clamouring? Like
yeah, that's the thing. Like he kind of
yeah.
and he takes the trolley in with him into this cubicle, and it's really awkward because I'm just trying to wash my hands, and he tries to squeeze in, and he's like bringing the suitcase in, and then he shuts the door and it knocks the satchel off the top of his suitcase,
God.
and I'm just like drying my hands slowly,
I want to see how this unfolds.
and then I'm just about drying my hands, and you hear him sit down, and then nothing.
I'm wondering if you heard the zip unzip. I'm worried what he might have done in that case while he was waiting.
My thing is,
needs
he
must.
didn't. There was no sound of Thunderbugs will not go because. Then I realised he's waiting for me to leave.
Oh,
like
that's a
he's a
nightmare.
nervous pooper.
Yeah.
He can't make it happen.
See, because this is what I was going to follow up to your little story, which is that sometimes we all go to the loo in public toilets from time to time.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes as you sat there on the loo, and you're going to go, bottom direction, and you know it's going to be a noisy one.
Yeah.
And you're like, lots of people are going to hear this. So my tactic, and I'm sure lots of people employ this exact same tactic, is wait for someone to use the hand dryer.
Oh yeah, that is,
Or wait for another flush.
That's
But that's less regular. So I'm thinking like service station toilet, loads of cubicles, loads of basins, loads of hand dryers, and then so someone's like, you're like, now's my chance, and then suddenly they stop. And you're like, oh no, I'm not done. So you just poise like that, just waiting.
It's like a resealable bag, isn't it?
Yes. And then it's
Ziploc.
like, maybe there's no one else in there. Maybe there's no one else in here, so I can just let loose. And then you hear some footsteps. I know someone's washing their hands.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my chance. Oh, let's go again. So I can understand his position here because it's like he was waiting for a sign that you'd either gone or that you were making enough noise to not hear his explosion.
I cannot emphasise enough how tricky it is being in that situation in a unisex toilet, which has happened to me.
Yes, yeah. I was there. I was not there.
You weren't there.
But I think I was.
You weren't
in the
half
room.
an inch from me at that point.
I was in the room next door, and believe me, those two kind of load-bearing walls were no defence. Like I heard everything.
They bowed.
It was pretty.
Yeah.
like
Fortunately, the scaffolding went up quite
It's
promptly.
like when Neo flexes his muscles in that corridor at the end of the main.
Yeah.
But what do you think? Could he not have waited outside? Like he knows there's nowhere I can go.
Yeah.
There's no second door.
And he knew that you hadn't left because he hadn't been out of the far airlock long enough
No.
to see to have missed someone go.
Do you
So for him to go back in and sigh again, knowing full well that you would hear all of his sighs,
Yeah.
it's bad etiquette.
I get that the need was great. I think I just resent him for putting that weight on me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we all know how how nice a little poo session can be.
Yeah.
It's a treasured time.
Yeah, I'm smiling. I got
It's my only private time.
I'm getting like a
Yeah.
little montage in my head of all the good times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just you, same pose, different shirt. That's the montage.
Thing is, like,
Looking relieved.
Yeah.
you
Playing
mentioned
Candy Crush.
you mentioned it's like a little quiet. The only time you get alone at work. Yeah, that's
actually
fair.
is.
Yeah. Sometimes I slip away just to have 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, I think we've all
Just
done
to
that.
scream
yeah.
into a pillow.
Yeah.
I can't do that very easily because I work in a design studio and there's literally only 3 or 4 guys in there at a time. So if I leave, the toilet's literally just around the corner. If I'm gone for 5 minutes just to get a moment to myself, it's like, oh, why has he been in there for so long? They're very aware of how long I've been gone and everything, so I literally can only really go for my biz.
There are some absolute thing is the good thing is like if an organisation is big enough, then it's going to have a big enough facility, and there's probably going to be enough
And this is
Toilets.
a great chance to grab some quiet time.
where there's reasonable doubt as to where you might be at any time.
They'll have to kick in a lot of cubicle doors to find you.
I think I learned that the gentlemen from the floor below have started using our
It's
that is on-
bathroom.
like an epiphany toilet.
Ah, yes.
Because I gotta say, it's like I've been in there sometimes, and it smells like a butcher's window on a hot afternoon. Like it's like, what are you doing? What are you eating? How?
I worked as a cleaner for a while when I was living back in Salisbury, and I had to clean an office toilet once.
Oh, no.
Oh.
And there was
no.
there's no word of a lie. There was feces smeared on a wall.
I don't know how to
Wow,
react to that.
no, it's
I
hard
want to laugh. I want to
Like-
laugh, but I haven't
Yeah.
laughed, and I think that's interesting.
I think this is an experiment for
Yeah.
us all. Like what has to
How
has
high?
To,
Sorry, how high are we talking?
it was like if you'd been sat on a toilet, so it was in a cubicle. It was on the wall of the cubicle, like hand reach out height while sat down.
Was it a handprint?
Yeah.
It's hard to be sure. It was like 2 or 3 parallel smears, so it could have been fingers, or it could have just been a sort of I don't know, it could have been a catch if you'd shat yourself and there was poo on the outside of your
Batting
bum,
it away.
and you turned and your bum scraped against the wall. It could have also been that, or it could have been really deliberate and vicious and antagonistic.
I'm trying to work out what's worse, like finding a handprint of human feces, or like a smiley face drawn with human feces. I feel the message in the latter is better, but it requires
positive
more.
message.
It requires more intent.
But the thing is with a handprint is it could be accidental.
Yeah.
A smiley face is premeditated.
Also, a handprint looks a little bit like a crime scene, which adds a whole other element to it.
Before turning the gun on himself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll agree with you on the hatred of that. I wouldn't have enjoyed that.
Is that pretty clear cut?
Yeah, I would agree. It's not a good thing. Yes,
No.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I've ever gone so far as to hate it, but I can understand why that situation would leave you in
So
such
I
a
guess
predicament.
what I hate is there's a bond. You know,
Unspoken.
Yeah, it's like I left when his need was great. You know, like when the roles were reversed,
Yeah,
I stepped outside.
You'd like to think someone would do the same for you.
Yeah, so do me a solid.
Yeah. Not literally.
You did him a solid. Then he waited to do his.
Well, I mean, if I feel that was an easy one. You know,
Yeah.
if
I think we've set the tone of this show, haven't we?
yeah, it didn't take long.
Started with poo. Great start.
I'm not sure where we can go from here.
Well, mine may not be as cut and dry.
Oh.
Well, no, it might be though. Like,
Oh.
I don't know. We'll find out. That's what the show's all
That's
about.
what it's all
In
about.
a way, that's the format of the show. So let's
More
get
or
in.
less.
Really, the anticipation is better than you actually telling me.
I'll build it up a bit more.
Hmm.
Oh, oh, I wish I'd done this.
Uh,
So mine concerns modern music
Oh.
of the day. So what all
Oh.
the kids are listening to.
Right.
the music
You
of
know?
television.
Okay.
So although I wouldn't consider myself very old, I am old enough to not be listening to Radio 1 anymore.
Yeah, you're not
Yeah.
there. You're not their target demographic.
And yet I do.
kind of like
you?
haggard
Yeah.
more than old.
Haggard.
Haggard.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah,
You
so-
don't look a day over 41.
Thanks. For the record, I'm 31. So...
Well, that's embarrassing.
So I listen to Radio 1 from time to time.
Okay.
And I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know that I haven't found my new radio home yet. So for now, I'm still hanging on to my teenage radio home because like I've tried Radio 6 out and I've been a bit disappointed. Radio 2 didn't do it for me. So I don't know where to turn.
Where do you sit?
Maybe podcasts actually. That's probably quite
Yeah,
good.
I would, yeah.
Here I am recording one. So what I've noticed is that in a musical trend at the moment, and it's across nearly everything. It's in like pop. It's in like everything that's in the charts, but specifically in like dance, electro, techno, like drum and bass,
contemporary pop and
dubstep.
roll, like
Yeah.
all the
pop and roll.
yeah.
I like an upbeat, dancey tune. You know, I like my drum and bass. I like my EDM. You know, I like that sort of stuff.
Oh, don't we all? I mean, I've danced to "Come On, Eileen."
I've
We've all-
torn it. I've shredded it
Yeah.
to some of these bands. Yeah.
I've coiled one off on the dance floor. You know, just to put it
That's
back.
your story, isn't it?
But what I love about those tunes is the drop, obviously. So you
You gotta
get
love
the
the
building
drop.
up of
Yeah,
the tune,
yeah.
and then it's like da, 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 da. It's like, oh, where it's going. It's gonna be awesome. Da, 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 da. Modern music, we get to the top. Da, 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 da. Boom.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. It slows right down.
And suddenly there's just nothing there. Like what we were expecting was some big like bum, 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 you know, really big. Yeah, this is awesome. Get my dance on kind of thing. The build up, then the drop.
Right.
It's going to be exciting. But instead, there's this new trend in music to like, oh, let's subvert that.
You see, I feel you're referencing one particular song here because I think you played it for me.
Are you thinking of Taylor Swift?
I am thinking of Taylor Swift.
Now it is a really good example of it. Absolutely. She is though a very recent proponent of this horrible technique, which has been going for I would say longer than a year actually, and has been very disappointing to me to the extent that I hate it. I really hate it.
Just on a side note, Taylor Swift's a dickhead.
Wow.
Oh,
There, I
Wow.
said it.
that came out.
Okay, so we've gone from talking about poo to slagging off Tay Swift.
That's fine. That's a side note. We'll put a pin in that.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
For the record.
Okay.
Maybe that'll be a future hate.
That can be like a Christmas special.
Yeah.
or something like that.
That's my spin-off show. Taylor Swift's a dickhead.
I swear I've only heard one Taylor Swift song.
And it's that one.
No, I've already forgotten the one you played me. I think I retroactively undid it. in my
Yeah,
head.
it's not great. I mean, it's bad. It's really bad.
Shake It Off.
Yeah, shake it. Shake
That's
it.
actually quite a good pop.
Yeah,
tune.
But this is
catchy,
it, you
that's
see. It is quite a good pop tune because, like, it's got a verse and then it drops into a chorus, and the chorus is woo dancey dance, and then it's dropped into a verse, and it's like this is a good system. That's why we've been doing it for hundreds of years.
It works to a certain formula.
Yeah.
Got it all.
Why change it all up for this?
So is it more? It's the combination of expectation and disappointment.
Yeah.
Rather than like if they just played you the disappointing drop.
What without any sort of build up?
Yeah, it's like, hey, check out, it's my new jam.
Yeah.
Ooh, check it out.
I recorded a popcorn machine on slow motion.
Yeah.
Old man cough. That sort of thing.
Right. You see, that we could probably just market that as a soundboard.
Yeah.
You know, just
Yeah, in fact,
cut-
if
clip
anyone's
that,
listening, who
cut
is
that
some
little
sort of
segment out.
sound engineer, yeah, just chop them up, make a tune out of them. No, it's just this weird empty sound that it just sounds like someone emptied their pockets in a gymnasium.
Do they play these songs in the nightclubs?
I think they do.
Well, that's ridiculous because then if you're going for the record, I'm dancing.
Yeah.
And then when that happened, the drop or the undrop,
Everyone
Then
does.
I just go to the bar, probably.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
go, oh, what do I do now?
Just
I think
naff off to the bar and get a drink.
But don't we have a crisis here? Because the very fact that you had to ask, do they play this in the nightclubs?
I don't go to the night.
This
We
is
do
it,
not go.
I
we
know,
don't
no,
go.
I'm slightly too old now.
So maybe they don't, and we don't know.
But is
But
what?
then what's it for?
But okay, well, is this how it begins? This is my question for you here, because you've raised very seemingly to us, three men in their 30s drinking tea on a Thursday evening.
We don't understand.
This is my thing, like when your parents would come in and you're listening to whatever, and they go, "This is garbage." It offends me. I don't understand what's going on. Like maybe it makes perfect sense.
Maybe it does.
This is what they want.
Oh no.
But what is weird is how the youth nowadays look like they're from the 90s,
Yeah, that's true.
like when we were young.
Yes.
That's
all,
weird.
All children are awful, is my theory.
Oh, I see.
I think every generation gets slightly worse.
Yeah, that might be true.
I think it's going to be awful in about 40 years.
It's almost like every generation's
Glad I
children.
won't be around to see it.
Going out in a blaze of glory.
It's like a culmination every generation of doing everything worse than the previous one. So it's going to get worse because we've got so many more people to disappoint, actively disappoint.
I've got to say, it's certainly it's an interesting theory of human evolution.
I blame the drop,
I
personally.
blame the
Yeah.
drop. This is where it began.
I want a t-shirt with "Blame the Drop" written on it, by the way.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Merchandising, that's where we need to go with this.
Yeah, that's it.
But how would you turn it around?
There's still good drum and bass and dubstep being made today, but that
okay.
doesn't make it into the charts.
So it's like, we're not, the issue is you want good old-fashioned
Good,
granddaddy
I want
angel.
the D&B of my early years.
Yes. We had Ricketts and we had dubstep
We had So Solid Crew.
and we were grateful.
And I put a hip out dance into that, and it was great.
Did you not actually make a song when you were at uni that somehow referenced the So Solid Crew? Haven't you played that?
Blazing Squad.
Blazing Squad.
Blazing
No,
Squad.
I'm always getting
my
those
first,
two.
My first album.
Those two.
Believe me, I have 2 albums.
2 out, The Difficult
Yeah.
Second.
Yeah, absolutely. And my artist name was Lunch, because I love that word.
Oh, sure.
That could be a love for the future. But I've
Lunch,
just revealed
yeah.
it already.
Oh, spoilers.
But yeah, Blazing Squad are featured on there. Not with their permission,
Ah, well.
obviously.
What are they going to do about it?
Yeah, where are they now?
Where are they, Blazing
Well,
Squad?
actually, worryingly, I imagine the four members of Blazing Squad have a lot of time on their hands nowadays, and if they are listening to a hit new podcast,
Wasn't someone from Blazing Squad on Love Island?
Oh yeah.
This year.
Dappy? No, he wasn't Blazing Squad.
Dappy
was
was N-Dubs.
That's right. Yeah.
and he was a bully, weren't they? That was a thing.
Yeah, he
Imagine
came
being
out.
16 listening to this, by the way.
It's like,
Imagine that.
The thing is, like, no 16-year-old's going to go, I'll get it together, Dappy for life. That's not a thing. Like, his star has already fallen. That's what stars do.
Yes.
Stars fall.
Yeah.
Condensed. Whatever what do stars do?
Implode.
Die.
Die.
There you go.
Let's get on to death.
But what are we? But what's your summation here? Are you annoyed by the fact that modern tracks are neither coming nor going? There is no commitment. It's all build up. Like, I can't wait for when this song arrives.
I think what annoys me is that the attitude of this is let's subvert expectation, but not because it's a good thing. Like, subverting expectation is a good thing to do sometimes.
Oh.
Like, in stories, sometimes it's kind of good to throw a bit of a curveball in. Oh, I didn't expect them to die, but they died. Oh no! And then you come out there and it's like, it's actually really good that they died because that made the story really interesting. This doesn't add anything. Like, you can't dance to it, I don't think. And maybe I'm old, but whatever. And it's like having a bad ending to a story, like a non-resolved, like there's external threads. I think it's not just a bad taste or I think it's bad music making. I genuinely do. I think it's rubbish, and I think it's lazy as well, because it almost, rather than committing to coming up with how you make a drop big. And that's hard, because believe me, I've tried to do it with my early music making stuff, and it's really, really hard to make a big, awesome sounding drop. So instead,
Certainly if someone's watching from just like the other side of a cubicle wall,
Long drop.
Believe me.
at a festival,
But do continue.
instead of that, they just revert to the beat that the song started with, which is like when the song first starts, it's like boop, tick, boop, boop, tick, boop, boop, and then the vocals come in, and then they build up, and then just go back to the beat, boop. Beat,
Ultimately, you're left with a setup without a payoff.
yeah. Why would you ever want that in anything,
Yeah.
let alone music? So that's my point. That
I
I'm leaving on the table.
understand the point, and I appreciate it, and I'm happy to go with that.
Cool, thank you. I appreciate
As a hate. Next time I hear a song and it drops or whatever it is they do these days,
These days
on the wireless,
and the rhythms.
What would you do if it skipped? Is that good?
What, like the track skipped onto another track?
Or like you just like did that little like
that doesn't
kind of
happen
noise. Yeah, no.
anymore. Like a record?
I don't know. I mean,
Are you
like,
saying accidentally or on purpose?
I don't know.
Was like you got a CD Walkman on your belt when you walk into school?
What do they? What do they listen to? Me and my wax cylinder. I
I listen on prayer wheels.
tell you, I haven't really appreciated Dappy until you've heard it on the wax daguerreotype. I don't know. Rayman, what's your hate?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you a story
Ooh.
first, and
Oh.
then I shall sort of spell it out.
Weave a rich
in its actual
narrative.
term. Well, maybe I will.
Maybe
This
you will.
happens to me every day of my life.
Oh.
So
It's not really a story then, is it?
No, it's an ongoing story.
Saga.
This pisses me off every single day of my life.
Wow.
I work in the middle of a town centre.
Mm.
Cheltenham town centre, to be
Gasp.
specific.
I know they're going to find us.
I know, yeah. Oh, don't tell them where you live. I go for lunch most days in that town centre. And I think, where's a lovely place to go and get a meal? Perhaps a meal deal.
Oh.
I go to Boots.
Yeah.
I go to Boots and I get my wrap.
Yeah.
And I get my crisps or my chocolate bar, or my snack, or whatever it may be, and I get my smoothie. But I get it, but delayed because some bastard's walking in front of me really slow,
Oh.
or they stopped in the doorway,
Yes.
and I'm delayed. So my hate is people who are not socially aware.
Yeah.
Okay, like
This was on my list, and I actually whittled it off.
Yeah.
But
we could just have an update on this every week.
Yeah.
Like, who annoyed you this week?
Whenever
Yeah.
I walk through town and someone is walking directly in front of me slowly, I should be allowed to punch them in the back of the head.
yes.
And no court in the land would convict you.
And and get away with it, and it'd be fine. And the person would apologise to me.
Yeah. They'd own that.
From the floor.
People standing in a doorway, honestly, are worse
That
than
is,
Hitler.
like, leaving a shop, especially. Like,
Yeah,
this
it's
is
awful.
This is what
Oh.
grinds my Gertrude,
Oh.
right? You're leaving a shop, you're done, they're in front of you, there's one exit,
Yeah.
and then they just
stop.
step on the pavement, and then,
Oh.
ooh, where shall I go now? Ooh,
I catch the train twice a day.
ooh.
And it drives me mad when people are walking up to, the little, what do you call them, a little turnstile.
Turnstile thing.
Oh,
You
yes,
know.
yeah.
Little gates.
And they stop in the turnstile.
And look for their ticket.
Yeah,
or
and
whatever.
then, no, you get it out.
Yeah,
you,
get it. Be prepared.
Be
Oh, yeah.
prepared.
Why would you not want to get this done?
If you're at a till or getting on a bus is probably the worst, and the bus driver goes, "Oh, that'll be £1.20," and then you get your wallet out. You know how much it is. You look like you get this bus every day.
And you know you're going to have to pay. Like, at the very least, you may not know, it may be the first or second time you've gone on this bus, you don't know how much it's going to be, but you know you're going to have to pay some money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you're basically...
have a handful of
No,
change.
have this one on me.
No, you generally understand the concept of currency.
Yeah.
And, sale and reward.
Yeah,
That's how it works.
generally.
Yeah.
It's quite a wide spectrum, this socially aware thing, because again, on a narrow piece of pavement, you obviously
Yeah.
people walk both directions. Some people take up the whole path just in a line. If they're with their friends, it's like, get out of my way.
And you're
you
walking
know
faster than they are.
you're in my way.
Yeah.
Or you're at least in someone's way.
There's a woman who I've come to know, if only because we approach the station at the same time every day.
Right.
And bless her, she just has a supernatural ability to get in front of me.
Does she have round glasses?
No.
She gets out of a white transit van every morning.
Maybe at home. And it's like, that sounds like I have some God-given right to the pavement. I do not. We're all equal. It just so happens that, because I have a slightly faster pace than her,
You gallop, don't you?
I'd like to get around her. I've got, I walk with a boyful skip, when I'm moving.
With your saddlebags.
What would that look like?
And it's just like, she's not big. She just has this. She just like her.
Yeah, like
space.
it's almost like people have this weird, like, irritating aura.
Like a mini force field.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And like some people do this thing where you're walking behind them, you're like, right, I'm going to overtake this person because they're being really annoying and I'm faster than them, and they'll sort of sway slightly in the direction
Oh,
you're going
yeah,
to overtake,
yeah,
and
yeah.
so you'll go the other way, and then it's almost like they're psychically aware of which way you're going to go, and you can't get around them because.
It
exactly.
really annoys me at least once a day.
Yeah.
At least.
I can understand.
Just because I walk around town so much.
I want to develop sort of like a social plough that I stick to the front of my body,
Yeah.
like the front of a train.
Right.
Yeah,
It's like
And
a grid.
that gives me the right. Like if you see me with that, it means I don't tolerate any of your bullshit, right?
Right.
And it's up to you to get out of the way of it.
I've
But
always
I will
do
ram
you. Do you mean a physical?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like a kind of bib,
like
you
a
can
big
wear?
metal skirt that
Yeah.
sticks out the front. Yeah.
Speaking of which, I was
This merchandise is coming on really well.
just talking about plows for a minute.
Which we were.
I was
Immediately.
on the hashtag plow talk.
Hashtag show called Plough.
Join in.
I was I was waiting for the train on the way home today, and it was late, and we were on a different platform waiting for it to arrive, and it turns up, and I got a view of the front of the train, which I don't normally get, and I looked down, and it had like a kind of like a plough on the front, and I was thinking, oh, that can't be for snow.
No.
Not in, because
Not in
the train's
Britain.
high, But I also realised the plough starts about 4 foot off the ground
Right.
and stops about 3 foot off the ground.
So what's that?
If anything, it's just going to funnel things more
Yeah,
under the
onto the
wheel.
wheels,
Yeah.
yeah.
The bit directly in front of the plough will be fine, but each side of it will be a nightmare.
Don't they? I was going to say something stupid, and then I was going to say, don't they used to have like cow ploughs on the front of trains? So in the event that a cow was on,
I know what you mean. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
not
they
sure
have,
that's
like,
what they're called.
when they're called bull bars or something.
I don't know. That sounds awesome.
Yeah. Hashtag bull bars.
For life, yo. But I don't think the cow would survive.
No.
But it
But you get some
wouldn't
beef out
go under.
No,
The
wouldn't
train.
jam up the wheels.
Yeah, you don't want gammy.
Don't want gammy old
You don't
wheels.
want, you don't
Gammy
want
wheels.
gammy beef, do you?
Oh.
Just to try and be like a responsible member of society.
Oh yes.
Are we too angry on the pavement?
No.
Like,
No.
do we?
Here's why. Because it's really easy to be aware of being in the way. And I'm the kind of person who's really conscious. Like, if I suddenly, like, maybe I've lost my wallet, or I need to get my ticket out, or whatever, I will go to the side.
Yeah, exactly.
I will get out the way.
If you're in
and
a doorway,
Yeah.
you should know you're in a doorway.
Yeah.
I'm tolerant of kids when they do it.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I've got nieces and they don't know any better.
They don't know any better.
Older
they'll learn
people-
the hard way.
Yeah.
Fine,
Okay.
they walk slower. Fine,
Fine.
I get
yeah.
it.
Okay. Yeah. But if you're
But
in
you're self-aware.
Walking
That's
slowly
what annoys
is
me.
not
The
the
lack
crime.
of self-awareness.
Yes, that's what it is. And
think-
that's why it's genuine.
I was trying. Like, there was a part of me which was trying to be like, no, maybe let's be understanding. But actually, yeah, I think you're right, because when I'm out moving in public, I go out of my way to not make a
Not
fuss.
obstruct
Yeah,
others.
I just want to. It's like, look, being outside the house is horrible. Nobody enjoys this.
No.
If we can all just keep our heads down and not make eye contact, this will be over a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And so I just try to, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm always moving, always
Yeah.
being accommodating, and then
I'm aware of people behind me, in front of me, to either side of me, and if I feel like I'm starting to be, and I'll start to feel a little bit like uncomfortable if I feel like I'm in someone's way, which rarely happens, if I'm honest with
And then
you.
you get some people, and they're like the singularity. They're just like, kind of the gravitational pull of that person, warping the pavement around them.
Tumbling into their event horizon.
So I think we're pretty set on that one.
I think
Yeah.
you're
I'm
justified.
pretty pleased with that one.
Agreed, well done. Yeah, if there was a winner,
There you go.
I think it'd be me.
The hate winner.
Should we take it to the Twitter?
Take it to the
For
crowd.
Take it to the listenership, John.
Okay, so what we're going to
we got?
this is going to be a quick fire round. We're going to crowdsource some hate from people.
It's not been difficult.
That's a phrase no one's ever used before.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm going to take notes during this.
Oh.
Okay.
I don't know what of.
I'm not going to.
I might draw a little picture.
Okay, this is good. I feel like I feel this is a bit of a broad one, but Danny tells us that via Twitter, she hates the existence of jerks.
Yeah,
Oh, sure.
well, in a way, that plays into what you were saying.
Yeah, but what is a jerk?
Oh, let's define it.
Like, is that a jerk in her opinion or a jerk
Maybe
in
there was
society's
a-
opinion? What
there's
she
a-
might consider a jerk, I might consider to be a
Upstanding.
dick or a nice person.
Oh.
You
A
see what
jerk,
I mean?
jerk chicken
Yes.
is also uses that word.
Beef jerky.
Beef jerky. I'm
Yeah.
not sure about beef jerky.
I like beef jerky.
Do you?
I
It's a bit like eating shredded handbag, but it's nice.
I'm not gonna lie. It's like eating a scab. It's not.
Thanks for that. You probably
Yeah,
ruined
it's
it now.
not-
Delicious scabs.
I guess that's that dream dead.
Yeah, go on. Can't have that anymore.
But can we like?
Thank you, Danny, for the question.
That's not a question, Professor.
Oh, yeah, that wasn't a question. That was more of a statement.
As another question though, like if there weren't jerks in the world,
How would you know?
where would you find the good people?
Do we need jerks as contrast?
Yeah. Like it's only by something. There's a metaphor. There's a thing. Candles and shadows and light. You can't
sounds
have.
great,
You can't
John.
have darkness
good
without
words.
the light. I don't know.
I'm going to side with Danny on this. I genuinely get I feel like jerk can be a general definition. I think it is a sort of antisocial, like non-self-aware person. I would apply it to very similar to what you were saying, but like less restricted to just traversing the world and,
Sure.
and in other things as well, like your co-workers and your like people you queue up with in a restaurant, that sort of thing. Anyone
So an inconsiderate person,
selfish.
basically.
Yeah. I'm on the fence with the term jerk because you can be a jerk and for the sake of it.
That's true.
I agree. Hate definitely all day long. But if you're a jerk with a purpose or you're a jerk because you believe in something, or because you need something done
You're being jerkish.
that's important. You're doing it for an actual greater good.
Okay.
In a way.
Okay, I accept that. Yeah.
That's the only reason I'm on the fence with that particular word.
Okay, well, how about this? Rihanna tells us that she hates the fact that she is now leaving for uni and is in no way organised.
Nobody is.
No.
Yeah, I think she doesn't need to worry about that. Like that, you can maybe say that's not a hate because you don't need to be concerned.
I wasn't organised after 3 years of uni.
Spoiler alert.
You were
10 years, nearly 10 years ago. I'm like, when did we graduate? I graduated, 10 years ago.
You were about 20 years ago, weren't you, Nick? About 20?
whatever.
41 now?
When you founded that university.
Thanks, man. Yeah, thanks for that.
Well, no, I wouldn't. If that's a concern for Rihanna, then I don't think it should be. Because
she'll be okay.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. I didn't. I've never got organised. I was going to say I didn't get organised until, but there hasn't been a time. Like, I think it's okay. That's what overdraft's for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I turned up at uni and winged it for 3 years.
Yeah.
And got a degree.
Yeah.
So happy days.
Oh, right.
And you turned out all right.
Yeah,
look
I
at
turned out all right.
Host-
Here I am doing a podcast about hating things.
Host of your own podcast. Okay. How about this then? A little close to home. Alexander tells us he hates how people are forever bleating about Hollywood being unoriginal, and yet this is nothing new.
Yeah.
So it's more like it's the context of the hate. I think he's acknowledging Hollywood has problems,
Yeah, and we all know that.
but
actually,
he's saying it's always been that way. Don't
think-
complain. Don't rock the boat.
The
Head
issue
down.
here is that you can continue to hate on something that has been a problem for loads and loads of years if you acknowledge that it's been a problem for loads and loads of years. So, it's absolutely fine to hold a torch for a bit of hate and just carry it on.
Sure.
But it's the people who seem to claim that it's a recent thing. And I think that's what he's getting at. It's
Yeah.
like, in the last couple of years, Hollywood's run out of ideas. No. That happened ages ago. And also, it is a sweeping generalisation. There are some really good films that come out of Hollywood every now and then that are original. They're not many. I'll give you that.
But they don't get the publicity of
they
the
deserve.
films that they know are going to make $100 billion or
Very
whatever
true.
it may make.
Very, very true.
Weren't we talking earlier about the inevitable sequel, remake, prequel to Back to the Future?
We were talking about that.
Oh,
That would be sad.
I don't want that to happen.
No.
That is, it does. Yeah. Thing is, like, you could. There's only a certain amount of stories you can tell. I think we can.
No, that's true.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
like, there will be more time travel stories.
Yeah.
That's okay. Like, nobody kind of minds that.
No.
But it's like, I don't know, it's weird. It's just like, why would you, if it was really good the first time, why change it?
Yeah.
I guess, unless you feel you can add something to it.
Yeah.
I'm maybe like a little more forgiving of sequels, I think, rather than...
Sequels are okay, because generally they're a new story and they're exploring new things with established characters. That's generally the point of a sequel. Like, you've built love for a character, that character hasn't died, so you can do another story with them. I think that's fine. Sequelitis in itself is not a problem. It's when the sequel is very unoriginal, very bland, maybe retreads the same ground that the first film did, then it's like, well, what's the point? You're just making the same film again. Ugh.
So really, we've not really added or subtracted anything from the
No.
question, really.
Not really. All I would say is that we know how structured cinema is now in terms of we know a schedule of what's coming out for the next
Yeah,
2 decades, probably.
basically.
More or less. People are more aware of these sort of things now, aren't they? That's the thing. People know more about more, and maybe that's taken away a bit of the magic.
Just
I
saying,
don't know.
we've become more aware, and so we're perceiving this kind of problem.
It's
But-
lost its innocence, perhaps.
But Alex always knew this. He was
Yeah.
never innocent.
Well, Alex sounds like an intelligent chap.
Yeah. Let's get him on.
There you go. So he already had it
He
down.
knew already before the rest of us.
Yeah.
So we should say to Alex, actually, no, you don't hate it. Have sympathy with
Yeah.
people because they're finally catching up with you.
Exactly, yes.
This from Andy. How come this is gripe? This is a gripe. This
Okay,
bugs him.
this is-
Yeah.
How come if something is awesome, it has some awe, but if something is awful, why is it not full of awe?
Oh, it's awful. Because
I-
there's no E in it.
There's no. It's not a double L.
Yep.
Yes.
True, and also there's an E after awe.
Yeah, and
It's like awe.
Awesome.
but you could still argue it from a point of maybe awful's etymology as a word
Yeah.
did have awe in it. as in AWE, in it
Perhaps.
before it was contracted somehow.
Just to add to that point,
Oh, do.
progress you would associate with doing well and
Yeah.
getting on, etc. So what is congress?
Ah,
Oh, I see. A pro and con, yeah.
That's
And you
a
got
step
and you got
backwards.
Think about that.
regress,
Regress.
egress.
yeah. Egret, a little baby eagle.
That is a small bird.
Yeah,
Regret,
yeah.
the sense you get after losing that
like
small
I
bird.
did when I said egret. I regret
Yeah,
that.
no.
Yeah.
Egress used to be written on the inside of my trousers.
Was that your name?
No, it's true. I had a pair of trousers, and inside on the seam was a little message, and it said "This way to the egress," and it had a little point towards
Do you hate or love that?
the zip. It felt like a special moment between me and the poor underpaid worker who was contractually forced to sew that message in.
Ah, so love them.
Yeah, no, it was delightful. Yeah,
All I would say to that gripe is language is weird.
Yeah.
yeah.
Especially English.
Nothing really makes sense. If you say one word enough times, it stops making sense.
Like hate.
Yeah.
Can you be whelmed?
If you
You can be over and underwhelmed.
I believe whelmed is a word.
Is that actually a word?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
But I don't entirely know what it means.
Whelm.
If you can be whelmed, does that mean there is such a thing as a whelm? Like just one?
A singular,
Yeah.
the very
Yeah. 'cause
quivering.
If someone gives you a whelm, then you would have been whelmed.
You should look that up.
Oh, it's like you've been assaulted.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like just came out with a whelm.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Right at me.
Not to be whelk.
Ah,
That's
yes.
that's a word.
Do you regret saying that?
You see what I mean? Words are just words.
I know it's just meaningless after a while. And I guess Dudley is not a fan of people who drive in the centre lane.
Oh,
Well, this is lack of self-awareness again.
this is actually it does massively play into your point before.
Same with traffic jams.
Or is it too much self-awareness? Are they like, look, I know the rules, I know how they apply, but I'm a sociopath,
I'm gonna
and I
actively
think it's a lot more efficient if I just drive in the middle lane.
I can see why people would think that, but they're completely wrong. I can get into the
Yeah.
mindset where they think it's convenient to sit in the middle lane because most average you'll go faster than the slowest person who'll be in the normal lane.
Yeah.
But you may not, always want to have the constant thinking and calculating about, overtaking, going back. Even though that's the laws of the road, and that's how it's meant to work, because the other two lanes are just overtaking lanes. They're not middle lane and fast lane. They're overtaking lanes only.
Yes.
But
Okay.
But
Yes.
are those people ever really living? Experience.
That's a good point.
Neither highs nor lows.
Maybe it says more about your personality if you hog the middle lane.
Yeah.
You're a middle of the road kind of guy.
Yeah.
I can sympathise. There are times in my life where I've not been intentionally hogging the middle lane.
Don't hug the middle lane, John.
And
You're
yet,
going to get run over.
I have these weird quirks, okay, but it's like you're trying to like. This happened the other day. I was driving back from Devon, and shout out to my boys in Devon.
Yeah.
And and the fast lane was just full of people going slower than the other two lanes. Like, what are you supposed to do?
Well, it's unfortunate.
Ram them.
Got to go slower than them. Yeah, get a plough on the front of that car.
Yeah. Punch them in the back of the head.
Get a cow plough.
I feel like ploughs could solve a lot of problems.
I failed to take any notes
You
during
didn't
this
have to.
section.
It's not going to be a quiz.
Oh, okay.
I think it's just the general mindset you're in at the end. Like,
Yes.
do you, has the show made you happier, or has it?
Well, to be
worsened
honest,
your life?
right now I'm filled with a vengeful hate because all we've been talking about is hate.
Especially middle lane driving.
Well, should we turn it around
Let's
then?
remedy
turn it on
that.
its head.
Hey guys, John here. Sorry to tear you away from what is proving to be a riveting podcast. I certainly hope you've enjoyed the very first episode of this new show so far. We had a lot of hate. We're about to move on to love. Before we do so, however, I would like to just take a moment to do a tiny bit of housekeeping. So bear with me, I won't be a minute, and then we'll be back to the rest of the show. Firstly, maybe some of you are already familiar with Big Punch Studios. For those who aren't, we are a studio, as the name suggests, and we make comics and games, and we also do some podcasting, and we would absolutely love it if you enjoy what we do to head on over to our website, which is www.bigpunchstudios.com. You can find everything we do there, including some lovely free digital copies of Extraversal, which is a magazine we produce. You can also find links to Afterlife Inc., 7 String, all the amazing comics that we spend so much time and effort working on, and we Hope you love them. This is a brand new show for us. We're giving it its own home on iTunes. We would be so grateful if you've enjoyed what we've done so far to head on over to iTunes and leave us a review. Doesn't even have to be positive, but we'd really prefer it if it were. But if you've enjoyed the show, please just give us a thumbs up, give us some stars on iTunes, because that can make all the difference for a new show starting out, and that could really help us make an impact in this big, terrifying ocean of podcasts. And it will allow us to rise up the charts, get more attention, and make even more of what will hopefully be a very entertaining show. If you do enjoy what we do, like I said, maybe you're familiar with our work already, maybe it's kind of new to you, but yeah, if you love what we do, we also have a Patreon, which is, patreon.com/Big Punch Studios. There are also links on our website. Every little helps. Every little helps us make more great comics like Afterlife Inc., Seven String, Extraversal, more games like Sandwich Massacres, and of course, allows us to make more podcasts. And I guess the final thing I would like to say before I disappear back into the ether is simply be sure to join in the conversation. If you've enjoyed hearing us talk about hate and love, if there's some burning issue on your chest you'd like to get off, you can join in the discussion on Twitter simply using the hashtags #ShowCalledLove and #ShowCalledHate. I think they're quite self-explanatory, but if you use those to send us your gripes, your joys, your moments of existential elation or terror, please do. We will hopefully get round to reading them out and discussing them and passing our ill-informed judgment on future episodes. Thanks so much for listening, guys. Enjoy the rest of the show. I've been thinking about things I love that I could bring to the table this week, and it's been hard. I have to say, I feel like my heart is a barren wasteland of
It took me ages.
resentment.
You're about to find out that my one is terrible.
Yeah, mine too.
But maybe what I'm saying is maybe there's gold deep among the muck. You know what I mean? Like we're raking up all this anger.
Maybe in a couple of weeks.
And we're trying to find and all we can find, the only joyful things are tiny, pathetic little nuggets.
see what you mean.
But maybe that's beautiful.
Maybe it's beautiful because of how small it is in comparison. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we found it in the middle of.
Wow.
Because my thing,
all this shit.
I was gonna, I've been racking my brains thinking about what I've been enjoying, and I've actually had a horrible couple of days at work. So I've been like, oh god, what's it gonna be? And I thought I had something, and it changed 20 minutes before we went on air because I cooked some delightful homemade turkey nuggets.
Did you?
With sriracha sauce, and they were delightful. So
you let me try one, and it was outstanding.
Yeah, and you were actually, and I couldn't tell if you were being facetious or not. You were like, "Let's cook this again," or rather, you cook this again for everyone.
Yeah, I'll buy all the ingredients,
and then we'll just do it. Yeah,
I wasn't being facetious.
I turned up late, so I haven't had one.
I went.
Now.
You can sniff the pan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've got enough.
I look forward to that.
We've got some slurry in the bottom of the.
Can you put that in your bins because I can do two things at the same time.
I went all out, right? I got 3 bowls. In the first one went flour, salt and pepper, stirred all that up. Second one, put an egg. Third one, panko, which is like Japanese kind of breadcrumbs kind of thing. Chopped up the turkey, dunk. Threw it in.
Then what? Shallow fry in the...
Shallow fry in a little saucepan. And then sriracha. All over.
Lovely. That does sound good.
And I tried to do a veg to, I stir fried some green veg in sriracha in a second pan.
Goodness.
And I got the ratio a little wrong. Like home cooking where when I grew up.
Yeah, I'll just throw it in.
Yeah, but
like Jamie Oliver.
Salt Bay.
Yeah, but things like Jamie Oliver's excuse is oil and butter. It turns out everything he cooks. That's why it tastes so great.
That's the French way of cooking.
Yeah,
they just chuck loads of oil.
Douse it in something.
Yeah,
but it's like when
I love it, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not knocking it.
When I was growing up, our family meals would be like there's some meat or a kind of a chicken burger, so carrots and then potatoes.
Yeah,
every meal came in 3s.
Yeah, my parents did that for me as well. Yeah.
So with this one, I was trying to. It wasn't quite the rule of 3s, but I was going there's going to be a portion of turkey, delightful gourmet turkey nuggets, those dank nuggies, and then some veg on the side. As it happens, may have overestimated.
You got very excited about the turkey.
There's a lot of turkey, so it was like a little soupçon of a green bean with a slight red dressing, and there's a little mountain of turkey.
In fact, you made so much that the reason I was able to try one was because there was too much.
Yeah. In fact, Lucy spoke very highly of the meal.
Yeah.
Her one piece of feedback was maybe a tiny bit too much turkey, if I'm going to be honest
You're
with
out
you.
of control. Dial it in.
But I've got to say, it was delightful. I'd cook it again. I would cook it for my friends. I'd
Lovely.
cook it for my co-hosts because we just go crazy.
Hey, next time you come around a bit earlier.
Yeah, we'll have some turkey
We'll have some turkey.
nuggets.
Oh,
turkey
that
nuggets.
can be our thing.
That could be every time we do the podcast. Turkey nuggets before.
There you
Just
go.
for sound of oil and bread spraying all over. Like,
Yeah.
the thing is, I feel only a percentage of that love can go to the nuggets. And I think a greater percentage possibly has to go to the sriracha.
Yeah. Sriracha is a wonderful.
Very happy that you brought sriracha into our lives.
I do what I can.
What is it even? Like, it's just so good. I don't know.
I don't know. Let me just grab it.
There's a bottle on the side.
heading.
Oh,
over
it's happening live,
Hot
listeners.
chili sauce. So it's a. I knew this actually. I don't know why I had to go and look.
Okay, yeah,
It's a chili
But it's not overly hot. It's
made
kind
from
of.
sun-ripened chili. That's all. That's
I've never had
literally all it
sriracha.
says.
It's delightful.
Can I try
Give it
it?
a smell.
Yeah, it's really not that hot at all.
Put some on my hand.
You may have to give it a bit of the
Having it just on its own, it will be a little bit of a like.
you may have to loosen
There you
the.
go, there you go.
There we go. Oh, it's all happening.
It's quite tangy.
So
fine. It
for
might-
those at home, Rayman is distributing a rather large amount of red
this ought to be
sauce
good.
onto his finger.
Here we go.
He's chowing down.
That's nice. Yeah.
It is
Yeah,
nice.
yeah,
I quite like hot food.
Oh right, well. That's
Oh, do
perfect
you
then.
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Now I do. Anyway,
Yeah.
these days I do.
once upon a time, you
I
had
like
it.
that.
Yeah,
You got the flying.
I can see how
goose
that would
brand.
add to turkey nuggets.
you can add. Oh no!
Oh!
This is very unprofessional.
I like to revise my hate. I hate it when you walk into the recycling bin in the middle of a podcast.
I hated that we wanted to do a podcast in the recycling.
Yeah, one day we'll.
Might
have-
I add that is a very overflowing recycling.
well,
You should have seen it before you arrived.
he act-
I've actually done something to that.
yeah, it was actually all across the floor as well. That's not a joke. We live in filth.
Yeah, we do.
Sorry,
Disgusting.
one day this will all be, we'll put things into their correct perspective, and we'll have a room full of recycling, and the podcast will be on the floor.
Absolutely.
Nick, what are your loves?
My love is also food. But
See,
really?
So's mine. Yeah.
Oh god,
Oh,
right,
this is where we went.
okay.
But mine is oh god,
Jesus, right, okay.
I really love those square yellow cheese tiles that
Oh
you
yeah.
put on burgers.
Yeah.
But I love eating them on their own.
Yeah.
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 Oh, I've got a fan. Yes.
60
Nothing but protein. Cheese.
No, barely that.
90% ash.
64 slices of American cheese.
I'm thinking of a story you told me, John, about the guy who tried to invent cheese and tomato slices. Did you tell me that?
Oh,
No, I've heard this story.
There's a guy who, like those same slices. He tried to make a ketchup and cheese one combined.
Yes.
And it was like half and half.
It was like an entrepreneur. On
oh,
like a-
it was on Kickstarter.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was Kickstarter. Yeah, and it was like because you know how the cheese slices come in that sort of
Yeah,
plastic,
yeah.
What would you call it? Like a wallet almost.
Protective film
Yeah.
Yeah.
for us.
It's
Yeah,
like
to
a
keep,
copy slate,
to
but
keep
with
it
food
in.
in
I've eaten too many of those plastic films, I'll tell you.
You better take them off.
Yeah.
It's not like Starburst. You can't go there.
You got to take the plastic off before you eat these.
But yeah, this guy.
It is not biodegradable in the
No, yeah.
slightest.
They come out exactly.
Heed my warning. Do not eat.
Tell us.
Yeah, the Kickstarter guy.
Yeah.
He had the same plastic wallet, but it was like yellow and red side by
Yeah,
side,
it's
wasn't
half and half. It's like a
Half
pool
and half,
table.
yeah.
And the idea was you could like literally just open that up, slam it onto your burger, and you'd be done. Cheese, ketchup, done in one
You
fell
say
swoop.
slam it on as though the moment you unwrap it, it begins losing structural
Of course
integrity
it would.
very
Like, this is why I think, did it fail? I feel like it
Yes.
must have failed. Because when you open the cheese tile, at least you have a cheese tile.
Yeah.
You know, it does start to take the form of any container you put it in. It's like a slow-moving liquid.
It's not a thing. What is this?
It's been waiting for its moment.
If you just put sauce into one of those, like, it won't stay a tile, will it? It'll just be a puddle.
Unless, I mean, like, well, let's be honest, that cheese slice is barely cheese.
Yeah,
Like,
let's be
whatever
honest.
agent they had to it, maybe
Yeah.
just bought that in bulk.
I once had 2 open packs of cheese slices in the fridge. And I happened to take one from each because I thought, like, I'm feeling pretty decadent.
Oh,
today.
yeah.
I'm gonna compare them, and I took them out, and they were different colours.
What?
That's it. What, the same brand and everything?
They were both Tesco's,
Okay.
but like one was
Did
like,
you,
Oh, yeah, you don't
did
wanna
you
trust
did
that.
you ripple shuffle them like a croupier?
yeah, I should have done, shouldn't I?
I read something the other day about how in the olden days.
Oh, they had the cheese slices.
Well,
back
yeah,
then.
yeah, you know. When they found,
Bit
you know,
of
when
moss instead.
when they were settling London and they just found like a rectangle of cheese on the ground and said, we will build our city here.
They planted one and then a tree grew.
But back in the olden day, red cheese, a la like red Leicester, was more expensive because the particular cows that kind of produced it fed on a particular type of grass, which influenced the milk, which gave it that colour.
Oh, I see.
Could be wrong. That's what I read. So. Ye olde unscrupulous Victorian cheese merchants got into the habit of simply dyeing their cheese to make it look
Like red
all
Leicester.
manner of colours. And the cheese you eat, air quotations.
Always air quotes,
The
okay.
cheese you eat is barely cheese anyway.
I don't think there's any cheese in it.
But except that curious like Simpson skin tone
Yeah.
colour.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
But this is it. I thought they were all the same. Like I always thought it
Yeah.
was the same shade of yellow. You know, like certain pigments are like Pantones or whatever. Like it's
Yeah.
got a hex code. Like I thought, you know, there's a hex code.
I think it's actually a hex
Pour
code
the
kind of
Dulux
stamped
in.
into the cheese.
Get the Dulux in there, come on.
So what are you saying you love? The cheese or the fact that society has enabled you to continue eating this filth without
I think I'm
repercussion?
going to change my love, and I'm going to change to the fact that Rayman loves it as well. I love that.
Oh, I've eaten them on their own. I usually have them at barbecues,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I have them, but I have eaten
Yeah.
a packet of them.
And I
on
have
their own,
bought
yeah.
I have bought packs just to have in the fridge to eat on their own.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
What I find disconcerting is if I remember correctly, the plastic film is the exact same layout as like a plaster. You know what I mean? Like the plastic
Sort of. It's like
it comes off
a
one
sort of
way,
an
it comes
envelope
off the
sort of
other.
thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
it's
true.
so you never have to touch like you never touch the sticky side of a plaster. You never touch the
sticky
naked
side of a
face
cheese. Yeah.
of a cheese
But
square.
I do because I roll it into a cylinder. That's how I eat it.
Do you?
Yeah, I roll it up.
Oh, I think
And
we've just fallen out.
Do it like a sausage.
Oh, that's weird.
Is it?
This just got weird. This show.
Do you drink? Do you use it to then suck up your Nesquik
Yeah, oh, yeah.
through the cheese?
Yeah.
I have never known devastation on this cheese thing, like the cheese tearing when you're taking it out of
Oh
the
my
plastic.
god, that could be a hate.
Oh, it's devastating.
Sometimes it will be a whole batch.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
find that there'll be like a weakness, structural
I-
weakness in the cheese.
The integrity of the cheese is compromised.
Yeah.
Oh, heaven forbid that something about the cheese industry may be compromised by this monstrosity. I knew a gentleman who at secondary school, you did as well. I won't name him. Who had a habit.
I might.
Who had a habit of walking around with a pocket full of collected baby bell wax,
Oh right.
as in like a proper
Well,
like
he was building a big ball.
yeah. And I remember he sat in front of me.
That's not bad.
I think I know.
Yeah,
who this is.
he sat in front of me during a biology exam, possibly like one of the last exams I did at secondary school, and he had a habit of finishing his exam in like 20 minutes. It was sickening. I'm not saying he was smart. I'm just saying
just
he
finished.
just blazed through his paper, and then so great, got 40 minutes to kill. What do you do? Reaches into the pocket, thunk, slaps a great big blob of baby bell wax on the table, and no joke, starts sculpting it. Kind of Close Encounters of the Third.
What did he make?
I don't know. I couldn't see. I could just see like his.
How did no one like intercede here?
I guess he wasn't like being disruptive. I guess.
There was the initial thunk. That's quite disruptive.
yeah.
I remember when I was at primary school, we used to have school dinners and used to like go up to the you know,
La-di-da.
where the serving place was.
Oh yes.
And there was a kid. I think in retrospect he might have been like really poor. So this is maybe like really really mean spirited. But we used to have like ravioli quite often, like piled high on your plate,
Yeah.
and he would just grab handfuls of it and put it in his pockets. And then he'd sort of get to the end and he'd be like, "Oh, I didn't get quite as much as everyone else." So then the dinner lady would like give him an extra sort of serving.
Nice.
And then I'm guessing he took the ravioli home in his pockets to have later.
That's a
Wow.
weird thing to put in your pocket.
That's a
It's
harrowing.
like putting chili in your pocket.
Because I mean, ravioli bursts often.
Yeah,
And
sure.
it's not like,
even if it didn't.
even if it didn't. I know it's
I'm
like
just-
slimy
it's-
and wet.
yeah. It's a very weird thing to put in your pocket.
Do you suppose he'd done a bit of prep work? Do you suppose
What,
it was
plastic
like
lined?
yeah, like
No.
or maybe
lined
like
it with baby bell wax.
or maybe
It
like
just came out covered in lint.
he'd cut out he cut the inside of his pockets out and it just filled his trousers like
He
that's
had
why
like
he
a
always
channeling system.
that's why he always wore bicycle clips. He wasn't a cyclist. He just had trousers full of ravioli.
Not like he was wearing like +4s, but
It's like the Great Escape walks into the yard and
we used to call him sloish legs because sat down, pasta sauce everywhere.
I don't know how to. I can't pass that in my head. I can't.
You don't need to.
No,
that was
it's
an
horrible.
extra tidbit.
Is your thing cheese as well?
Soup.
Soup.
Soup. I
Soup.
love soup.
Ah, soup.
Soup is the most versatile of all the liquids. And the most effortless of all the solids. I love soup.
The end.
To be honest, that's all I really need to say.
Yeah, it is.
You know.
How is it the most versatile of all the liquids? Tell me that.
Oh, Jesus.
You can pour it wherever you want. You pour it in your mate's pocket if you wanted to.
Put it in your hydraulic engine. This is great.
I love soup.
Yeah.
I love stories based around soup as well. We were on a ferry once.
Well, I was hoping you'd mention it.
Yeah.
My mind went straight there.
We were in Canada, and the woman behind the serving area...
We were on a ferry,
and went to a guy... I don't know where he was from. Maybe Europe somewhere.
I think that's kind of irrelevant.
Irrelevant.
Really. Yeah.
And she went, "Hi, what can I get for you?" That's my Canadian accent.
That's really good.
Thank
She
you.
was holidaying from America.
Yeah. She'd not been there.
Hi.
Hi.
It was Tommy Wiseau, wasn't it?
Yeah. Hi, doggy. She went, and then he just went, "Soup!" me and John lost it.
Because we've been queuing for a while, right? You know, and like we've been trying to entertain ourselves as we could on a ferry. Like we tried to throw pop. It was very windy.
Right.
It's a ferry between Vancouver and Vancouver Island. It's beautiful. Like it's like a slice of heaven. It's delightful. Very windy. We were throwing popcorn and trying to catch it.
Yes, we were.
On the top deck, kind of like leaning over, mouth open.
I see.
Someone like 12 feet up. Let's go popcorn. It flies back.
Only one fatality. So that was good.
The sea berries all mishaps.
She's a cruel mistress.
and then we've been queuing a while for food, and and we're like, what are you going to have? I don't know. Chicken nuggets look good, that kind of stuff. And then she barely gets the line out of her mouth, and then suddenly it's just soup.
Did he yell it?
Yeah,
it's like soup.
Yeah,
it was like a yell. Yeah,
it's a man who knew what he wanted.
Yeah, he was convinced he needed soup.
So do you soup much?
I soup often.
Oh.
At least twice a week.
Oh. Really?
Yeah. Ham and pea is my current soup of choice.
That is good,
it's
actually.
delicious.
Yeah. Do you make it?
No.
No.
I get the posh stuff from the supermarket.
Oh, I see.
By posh stuff, I mean it comes in a plastic container rather than a can.
So
that's how you know.
Do you make it? Oh, I know. I'm not a peasant.
Yeah, certainly not.
Would you ever consider
who's got the time?
Maybe getting soup in small plastic tiles. For
example,
cheese cups.
Oh yes, of course.
Like
yes.
a very small
just add water.
Square.
Oh, absolutely. I would consider soup in most of its forms.
So, like you peel a rectangle of green, and you place it in a bowl, and then maybe like give it a tap, like a little.
You just wait 10 minutes.
It's like a little.
It chemically transforms.
A short burst of kinetic energy, and suddenly bang, it's a liquid again,
Yeah,
it's really hot.
Yeah, piping hot throughout.
This is so dangerous. Why are we shooting
soup?
Have you ever had oxtail soup?
No.
I haven't.
It's very nice.
Is it?
I've
What's it
got
taste
a cupboard full of soup.
Just beefy.
Okay.
Just tastes like kind of beefy.
Is it
and
actually
nourishing.
tails? Is it
Maybe
made of
originally,
Could
once
be,
upon a
yeah.
time.
Maybe that's where it comes from.
Now I don't want it.
I think as long as you shave the tail, I've got no real kind of.
Yeah,
qualms.
but maybe you know how at the end of an oxtail it's like a little paintbrush. Maybe that's meant to sit right in the middle of the soup in the bowl,
Oh, I see.
like a little.
That'd be very
garnish.
off-putting.
Yeah.
Use it to clean up at the end.
Exactly,
Kind of
yeah.
like just mop the bowl.
I like soup. I like it a lot because what I like about soup is that it's really intense concentration of flavour. I like that.
Sure.
But my problem with it is that it's never filling enough. It's just.
Well,
Yeah,
do you eat it with bread?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that.
You want to get a big baguette.
A baguette.
Like a proper big one from the supermarket. The other day,
Oh,
I had some ham and pea soup and I ate a whole baguette with it.
What?
and
like a metre-long French.
Yes, indeed.
and then I lay on the toilet floor.
Yeah.
And when I regain consciousness,
Who do you think was behind the door in the toilet?
And when I regain the use of my legs,
Yeah.
Holton and I
I would do it again, just to clarify.
Okay, yeah, great. Yeah,
I would do it again.
I needed that
I
clarification.
was full though.
Our good mutual friend Richard Holton.
I wouldn't say
who's not here tonight. We when I lived in Canada with him, we had a kind of like mid-morning ritual where we go down to Tim Hortons, which is the finest of the baked good establishments in Canada. We get a coffee each.
Right.
We get 12 donuts for $5,
That is a good deal.
which is like £2.50. That was incredible. Best donuts I've ever had in my life.
You ate all 12 like then?
And we would get a bag of apples
Oh my god.
and a French baguette.
Baguette.
And we would go back to our horrible shack of a house in which we lived with 7 other travellers. And we would eat bread, apples, and donuts while drinking coffee and watching Firefly. And we felt like kings.
Actually, to be fair, that sounds
It's a
amazing.
simpler time.
I mean, our lounge was just bare concrete, but
Lounge.
for that brief window, I
Didn't
felt,
even have a telly.
If you added a cheese slice to that spread, then I would be right at home.
Should we see what Twitter has to say about happiness?
Is it about food?
Well, oddly enough, there are people saying that, God, it's hard to think of something that makes me happy.
It really was, which is sort of testified by the fact we've all chosen food.
And it also, like, what we chose. Like, I mean, the best thing I could think of that I loved was a cheese slice. I mean, God.
I'm 31.
What's happened?
I'm 31. I'm getting married in 2
You're
weeks.
getting married in 2 weeks, and the thing you love is a cheese slice.
If we could have one at the wedding, I'll be a happy man.
Oh, I might bring some.
Yeah, you bring some. That could be your wedding gift.
Decorate the cake. Just like cheese
I just
slices.
drape them over the corner.
Some people do cakes of cheese.
They do.
You can have the best of both.
I don't
I've been
want
to a
normal
wedding with a
cheese,
cake
though.
of cheese, yeah.
I want fake cheese.
I very nearly. Another thing I almost chose was also food related. I baked a barra breath, which is a Welsh fruit loaf thing,
You often bake them.
and I love them. Great. If you were eating it the traditional Welsh way, you'd also smear butter on it.
Right.
Like have a
A
slice.
bit like sorry.
Yeah, just.
I thought you were going to say you'd be standing on your head or something like that.
I'd be,
Welsh flag
I'd be
behind
massaging a goat. But Lucy and I went on holiday a few years ago up to Northumberland, and they were serving in like a cafe fruit, a fruity loaf slice. Looked a lot like a barra breath with a slice of cheese on top.
Oh.
I could go with that.
And we're not talking like one of your pasty
Well, it's not
little
cheese, anyway,
rubbery polygonal shapes.
Oh.
There's a new word
Bastardised
for it.
cheese.
It's not cheese. Is
It was like a proper wedge of like Cheshire cheese
I don't
on
like
top
Cheshire.
of.
But I like the idea of cheese on a fruitcake. I like.
Do you really? I'm not sure I can get
Yeah,
behind that.
I'm not sure about that.
No,
I could jump on that.
I'd have a slice of bastardised cheese on it,
Yeah,
certainly.
I'd have that on anything.
Slice of bastardised cheese. That could be the episode
Should we
name.
just call it bastard cheese?
Bastard cheese.
Nick and Chris.
Hang on.
Bastard cheese.
I've got any.
Oh, for God's sake, no,
there
not on the air.
I
That'd
haven't
be.
got any bastard cheese.
Oh, what a shame.
Ah.
I feel like our integrity has been squandered.
Knock some more recycling.
Sally on Twitter says cats make her happy. She doesn't even have a cat, as she lives in a rented flat, but their general existence improves her life.
I don't like cats.
Oh, do you
Oh,
not?
there we go.
I'm not a cat person.
See, I am a cat.
I'm a
person,
dog
so
man.
Maybe it's time to fight to the death.
I like
Yes. Dogs v cats.
I like
The debate.
I like dogs, but I also like cats.
So between the three of us, we've made no decision whatsoever on that.
Well, it depends. What are people's opinions on rabbits?
I don't care about rabbits.
Yeah, they are. My sister has a rabbit.
My thing
I
about
don't
rabbits,
really care.
it's like you just stay in a box all the time. Like you can't really get a rabbit out and let it wander around the house.
We had a couple of rabbits when I was growing up, and we thought they were going to be they're like the the lop-eared ones where
yeah,
they
yeah.
go down. So we bought what we thought were dwarf lops, which are adorable. They'll sit in like cup tanks. We got mini lops.
Oh.
They're a lot bigger. Actually, so they're not like giant lops, but they're not kind of like
Lops has lost all meaning
is it-
now.
yeah, stop saying lops. What's wrong with you? But they're not kind of like small, adorable ones. So they were kind of like the size of a smallish dog. And we had one called Bramble. You may remember Bramble.
Yeah, I vaguely do. Yes.
She was terrifying, like lovely rabbit, but had a surprising amount of like power to her.
Really?
She would bite.
Yeah.
We used to put her out on a run, and we had a local black cat called Merlin turned up, and Merlin was approaching Bramble, and I'm like, oh heck, it's all going to kick off now.
Just stuck back and watch.
I
Got the camera out.
Yeah.
and it came up to like the wire fence, and Bramble actually came up to him, and they're just kind of like staring at each other, through
really?
this wire fence, quite a wide wire fence. So like
Big gauge.
wide gauge
In
fence.
your 9.8.
And and Merlin reaches out to kind of like swat Bramble on the head, and she goes for him.
Nice.
And he fled, and that cat never came back.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
It is really.
That's embarrassing.
Merlin wouldn't have told the other cats what happened.
No.
No.
But
And that's why I never tell the story of when it happened to me.
that time you were house sitting for us. And
Yeah.
I'm up a tree.
On slight snag.
It's like, that's when I made a vow. If I made it through this.
I gotta get through this.
Well, you see, this one is interesting because we actually have to pass a picture around.
Do we?
A picture?
Could you describe what you're
Shall we
seeing?
tell?
It's a picture round.
I am seeing.
Oh, goodness me. I'm guessing there's some sort of like roadside barrier
Yeah.
that prevents cars from careening into the
But it
pavement.
looks like little people almost.
They look like little
They look
pink
like
men.
yeah.
Can you guess what country that might be from?
Liechtenstein.
Yeah. So I'm gonna some Eastern Bloc.
Japan.
Oh, okay.
There we are.
The clue was that there is the sign says Kyoto Station.
Oh, really? Well, we didn't.
Right, okay.
I was looking at the little.
But no, that's from Ben, who tells us that these roadwork signs always make him smile.
Oh, they're roadworks.
I like them.
Yeah, they make.
As roadworks go, I like them.
They're quite jolly.
Okay.
Does Ben live out there?
No, he doesn't. No,
Oh, right. Okay.
he's a Ben. You
Does he
know,
just look at the
actually.
pictures?
It's Ben I know.
Yeah, I think he
Does
just.
he?
No, I think he does more in his life than just look at
He's
pictures
been
of
to
roads.
Japan.
No, I don't know if he has.
Oh,
I don't know.
He just maybe came across that.
I like them though.
I like them too.
them.
They're
I
adorable.
agree with you.
Yeah, good.
I'm going to Japan soon. If I see some, I'll snap some pics
Yes.
and bring
Get
them
a
back to
photo
Ben.
of you next to them.
Yes.
And then you can prove you've been there.
Yeah.
Or Photoshop
Pics so it
it.
didn't happen.
Yeah.
Marshmallows.
Love.
Yeah, that's a love. Yeah. And we're not talking about tiny marshmallows. It's from Dudley. We're actually talking about fist-sized American barbecue.
The more
ones.
marshmallow, the better.
S'mores.
S'mores are nice.
What are your thoughts on those weird marshmallow ropes?
Oh yeah, the
Flumps?
Yeah. A flump is an inferior marshmallow.
It's a marshmallow you can't toast, or if you did want to toast it, it'd be quite difficult.
I have a thing against coloured marshmallows other than white
Oh.
because they don't really taste any different.
But pink ones.
Pink ones do.
They're quite nice.
No,
do they taste
I
different?
think they do. Or they can. Like
Yeah.
sometimes they're dyed and they're just dyed, and then sometimes they're flavoured. I think. But I just want a white marshmallow.
We used to do an experiment when I worked in a lab with the kids. Not on the kids, we weren't.
Sure.
Yeah,
No,
they were very own
Not
volition.
after the police came.
Not after the incident. But it was like you had to burn marshmallows and crackers, and you had to guess which one had the most energy in it.
My guess would be marshmallows. No.
I
Yes.
would say cracker only because it probably...
Subverts
yeah,
expectations.
exactly, yeah.
The cracker had more energy in it.
I was a science teacher.
I think it's because
as
the
well, that's an
marshmallows
outrage.
were all sugar, but the cracker had like some fats in it and stuff.
Is it marshmallow?
It's spelt marshmallow.
But it's
Yes.
pronounced marshmallow.
Now, isn't this?
I think it is pronounced marshmallow, it's just we've been saying it wrong.
But isn't once upon a time was there not like in ye olde days was like a mallow not actually like a kind of like a plant kind of
And I found them in the marsh.
There's a
Flavour.
marrow.
that is true. That is also a word.
Isn't language funny?
It is.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Coming back
isn't
to
it?
that.
Let's go back into that.
Yeah.
Hashtag words.
Fun with words.
Oh, it's delightful. But no, I think like once upon a time, like if you'd gone to like a Victorian sweet shop, like maybe marshmallow may have actually featured mallow as like a thing, and nowadays it's just sugar.
Okay.
But it kind of hangs on to that weird name.
That's why it's called that.
It's like humbug. What does that mean?
Nothing.
No.
General.
Was it named after
disgruntlement.
the guy from the Christmas Carol?
The Christmas story?
Oh, Mr. Humbug.
Yeah. What's his bar humbug? Was his name
Scrooge.
Humbug?
His name was
That's
Scrooge.
Scrooge.
His first name was
Scrooge
Bar.
Humbug.
Yeah.
Scrooge Humbug.
That's Mr. Scrooge Bar Humbug.
Mr. S Humbug.
Oh,
Scrooge
please.
James Humbug.
Oh, please. Mr. Humbug was my dad.
Yeah.
Call me Bar.
Call me Bar.
So, I think maybe on that note, thank you to everyone who kind of shared things
Yes,
on
thank you
Twitter.
very much.
Again, as we hopefully come back for a second episode,
If there's demand.
we would like people to continue using the hashtags show called love and show called hate
Yeah.
to share their
I'll do
loves
some
and
shout-outs
hates.
this time.
But guys, I guess we have to kind of pass judgment.
Which one?
And again, this is not kind of, it's not metric. This is more imperial. How do
How does it make you feel?
how does it make you feel? We talked about a lot of love. We talked about a lot of hate today. What do you think won out, love or hate?
It depends which way you look at it. In that...
Wow, what a great statement.
Yeah.
Please
in
elaborate.
in that I am probably going to go home now thinking about food. Probably. The
Yeah.
turkey nuggets, the cheese and soup. I'm probably going to be thinking about those.
Imagine all of those
When I
three
leave-
in one meal.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. wouldn't it?
Marshmallows for pudding.
Yes.
We can make it happen.
We could make it happen.
But I feel like we've spoken more passionately about things we hate.
Yeah.
And the fact we could only think of food as the thing we loved is quite
I feel like the
damning.
love stuff is quite trivial.
But I maybe I'm carrying a torch for something that's not worth carrying a torch for. But
Maybe.
I feel
Probably.
like I for one have had a bit of a I've not been feeling great today. Bit of a tough day at work. And I come in, and all I can think about is hate. And I was thinking like, I'm going to get so passionate about hate, but then all I've got for love is like pathetic.
But we ended on it.
But I feel more positive now, having talked about
Yeah.
even cheese I don't like.
You'll come right.
So I don't know, maybe.
it
But
in
we're
your
all
mouth
we're
while
all,
you
we're all individuals.
Take the cellophane off.
But I think for once I can tolerate the fact that there is bad, say, bathroom etiquette in the workplace because I know that there are turkey nuggets to feed the
And
need
cheese tiles.
to go back to the bathroom, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, just think tomorrow morning when you're on the toilet, it'll be them turkey nuggets showing
Yeah.
up in your life again.
Yeah, God, I'm going to feel every...
Tell us how you feel after that.
Every ridge.
every panko ridge. Oh, feel the panko ridge.
It's nuggets all the way down.
We've got a lot of hashtags coming out of this show.
There's so much merch coming.
Yeah, there is.
I cannot even begin to describe how much merch I'm going to go home and order.
Yeah.
Design and then order.
Oh,
We
yeah,
should
design.
Design,
Yes.
yeah.
We should set up a Redbubble store just for this show.
We should do.
And we'll just make loads of really rubbish
This is
like t-shirts.
We've just come up with rubbish
Because it doesn't
catchphrases.
cost us anything. I'll just knock designs
What
together
do
at
you
the end
call
of
it?
every
You're going to get like a Nich and Chris bastard cheese type in or something.
It's like we'll get one order once every 10 years
Yeah.
or something, but it's worth it.
But this, I'm telling you, this is where the big podcast money is. It's in merch.
Oh, sure.
You need miscellaneous merch.
You need stuff nobody would ever need.
We need to brand our own bastard cheese, right?
Oh,
we need,
yeah.
We need to print on that plastic film. We just write bastard cheese on it. I could
great.
do it with a Sharpie.
So
right?
I
this
could
is
do
the
it
money
right now.
making.
Even
I
if
do it with Sharpie.
even if it wasn't, even if you weren't an artist, you could just do that.
Yeah.
Anyone could do that. In fact, I think you shouldn't do it because you're an artist.
It's
I think
so obvious.
you are
you'll
right.
make it look too good.
Yeah,
I
that's
think.
maybe true. Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna say for the fact that bastard cheese came out of this alone, I'm gonna go with love. I think love won.
I think I'm going to agree with you. Actually, I'm going to say I think love won as well. Yeah.
Hey,
Hey. Oh, look at our personalities.
I see the beginning of a trend.
I smell a sitcom.
no, I've enjoyed myself thoroughly, but I'm still full of just such a vengeful hatred for most things.
Excellent.
Well, thank God.
In
I mean,
conclusion.
we've got a whole series of this to
Yeah.
fill. It'll be over too quickly. I guess one thing we're going to need, like as we go forward, is a kind of sign off. Like, how would you?
I did it. Do.
I hate Grange Hill.
That did sound a bit like Grange Hill. Pop culture.
It's a hate.
We could say, and until next time, hate the show.
We could say that.
The show you love.
The
to
show,
hate?
the show you hate to love or love to hate.
Oh,
Tune in
yeah.
next time to,
Tune in next
hear
time
more of
to.
the same. Roughly,
that's pretty good.
that was alright, wasn't it?
Yeah, do it again until we
It's a
think.
bit meandering, but
Yeah, well, until we think of something better. Do you want to
yeah.
take us out
Next time, love hate or hate love. Do it,
Question mark.
or not?
maybe.